All right, guys, we are live. We are going to do some interesting stuff today. We're going to talk about ERC 404 and we're going to talk about DN 404, which are two narratives in the crypto space that are kind of exploding. And we're gonna talk all about it. We're going to get into some information here. We're going to get into some airdrops. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about updates. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to go over in this. So let's see. Because I want to see if this is posted. Here's the new contract address. All right. I'm buying a project that this could be a total freaking gamble. So just understand what I want to do this really quick. This just launched. Let's see what's going on with it first. $118,000 market cap. See, like, this is people selling from the airdrop. So we'll have to see what happens here. I'm just going to throw a little bit of value in this. I don't recommend you doing this. I'm just going to, oh, there we go. Swap, confirm. All right. So I'm throwing $500 at this live to see what happens. All right. So if you want to follow this, you can do whatever you want, but this is a huge gamble. Just understand that we're going to see how this turns out towards the end of the stream. All right. You have to be able to take risks in the crypto space. My risk tolerance is pretty insane. So let's go through this really quickly. All right. So just looking at the market really quick. Bitcoin is actually down here 1.5% in the last 24 hours. We did break 50K and we came back down a little bit. The reason the market kind of went down a little bit is because of CPI data. Okay, so CPI data came out today, and you can see that it's not very good for the crypto market, and it's not really good for the stock market. So the Dow Jones Industrial is down 600 points on the day after a hotter than expected inflation reading. The S&P is nearly down 90 points and raised $700 billion in value today. This is pretty insane. So what they're talking about here is this. So CPI came in a little bit hotter than usual. CPI rose 0.3% in the prior month, ticking up from December while climbing 3.1%. What does this mean for you? Well, this means that possibly the Fed in the U.S. might not cut rates in May. They're having two meetings coming up, one in March and one in May. I watched all the Fed minutes. I watched Jerome Powell speak for an hour in the last meeting. Basically said we probably are not going to do anything in March because we need more data. Now that that inflation is ticked up a bit and it hasn't come down, chances are they're going to wait and not prolong. They're going to prolong quantitative tightening. So they're not printing money at this time. I was thinking maybe in March here that they were going to start dropping rates. Now you can see that it has a 63% chance of staying the same. Right now we are at 5.25 to 5.50. This was actually at like 60 or 70% to go down a 0.25% here in May, and now that's drastically changed. So we might not get anything until June here. So we'll have to see how this goes. But when the Fed is going to start dropping rates, they are going to start printing money again, most likely. They need to refinance $7.6 trillion worth of debt in the U.S. And so I'm monitoring this closely. But that is the reason the market hasn't reacted too well as far as the crypto market and the stock market in the U.S. So I'd imagine this is going to get shaked out here over the next few days. Historically, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day usually is a down day in crypto. But we'll really have to see how this works out. If you just take a look at the last 7 days, though, Beam is up 63%, guys. We had talked about Beam when this project was $200 to $300 million market cap. This was several months ago. It's sitting at 1.5 billion. People are up 400 to 500% on this call that we talked about in the Cryptonairz Discord when this rebranded from Merit Circle to Beam. Congratulations to everyone who's actually made money on Beam. I know that there's a lot more value in Beam to go. Immutable X is up 35%. Another project we've talked about for a very long time in the community. Caspa is at almost 14 cents. We talked about Caspa when it was half a penny. This is up almost 3,000% since we originally started talking about it. Of course, Pyth Network's up 30%. A lot of staking going on in the Pyth ecosystem. Pretty insane. Almost $1 billion in market cap for that network. Helium, I know a lot of people like Helium. There's really nothing being built on the Helium network. So I'm not in Helium. Of course, we've talked about Say, we've talked about Sui. We had a really great chat about 2 weeks ago. I went through all of the DEXs and all of the NFT platforms. When you're talking about these new layer ones that are launching, what you want to look for, and I'll repeat this, is you want to look for the DEXs that are going to support that. You want to look at the NFT platforms. You want to look at the meme coin, right? These are all different areas that you can invest in inside of a layer one. So we're going to see a lot of new layer ones that are going to launch over the next few weeks, few months. We're going to target those areas inside of that layer one because I think that's where you can make a lot more value for yourself, okay? I know you're a crypto guy and so am I, but I would take your money and put it in the stock market, just buy all crypto. So the stock market, and this is actually from YouTube, Edward asked, the stock market, it's kind of like topped out right now, in my opinion, right? I don't know. I just think with the crypto market's going to have a bull run for the next, they're talking about the bull run going to April 2025 or October 2025, depending on market conditions. It is an election year in the U.S. I do think they're going to be printing money that's going to fuel the markets, especially when rates get lowered. So I would think there would be more money to be made in the crypto market on specific crypto projects than putting money into the stock market. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, so do not take what I say as financial advice. But that's what we're seeing. All right. Let's do this. I want to talk. There's a few things going around Bitcoin $50,000. 50% of the supply is held by lettuce hands. Okay, this is when Bitcoin was last seen at 50,000. So 50% of the supply was held by lettuce hands. I've never heard of lettuce hands. Terra Luna running Ponzi. So this collapsed. FTX selling paper BTC, GBTC premium buyers getting wrecked. Fastest rate hike in history, Super Bowl crypto ads. You guys remember all those FTX ads? We really have hit a milestone by breaking 50,000. I do think 69,000 is, the all-time high, and we're going to get there pretty soon. We got the halvening coming up in 67 days. This is all going to fuel the market. They're building huge mining facilities in places like Texas and Georgia. I don't really need to play this clip. I just wanted to point that out. Megaphone pattern emerging on Bitcoin. So I really do think we are breaking out here the cycle. Remember, this is kind of how things go in crypto money flow, right? Fiat, Bitcoin, large caps, mid caps, low caps. So this is how it's going to go. People are going to take profit out of Bitcoin. They're going to put it into stuff like Ethereum, all right? BNB, Solana, that kind of stuff, right? I would choose Solana and AVAX over BNB, but you can do whatever you want with your money. And then they're going to flow down into the mid caps, the layer twos, things that are kind of built around infrastructure, deep-in projects, crypto, gaming projects, AI projects. Those are really the hot narratives that you should stay in between. And then you're going to get the low caps, right? So remember, this is how money flows. When you see Bitcoin going insane, you know that the next move is going to be Ethereum and layer twos on Ethereum. Optimism, Arbitrum, right? You have Linea, you have DXDY, you have ZK Sync, Base, Immutable X, Mantle, Linea, Starknet. Starknet's going to be launching soon. Please pay attention to that. Polygon, Scroll. All of this is going to pump insanely after you get this Bitcoin all-time high, okay? The final stage before big Bitcoin bull market. Orange dots are starting to be printed, right? So people are taking some profit. There was a lot of people that bought Bitcoin at 50,000. They were just waiting to kind of get out and not lose anything. But I do think after the selling's done, you are going to see us get into the 51, 52 range. And remember, guys, we are here in this cycle. Okay, we're here. Quarter one of 2024. We are still very, very early. You need to identify what you plan to hold for the bull market. Obviously, there's things that you're going to want to trade in and out of, but there's also things that you're going to want to hold for the long term of the bull market. And then when we get to this kind of end FOMO, euphoria phase, you want to have a plan to get out and not be holding your bags at the end. Because if you are sitting there with all of your crypto thinking that it's going to go up forever, you are sadly mistaken. I lost probably 7 figures not taking profit in 2021 on certain things, okay? So I can tell you that I've been there, I've learned my lesson, and I plan to have a huge exit from all of this when the music stops, and rebuy at some things when we hit the back bottom, okay? As you can see in the European Union final draft agenda, they're going to be talking about instant payments in Europe, which is kind of cool. You know, this whole narrative about instant settlement in Europe is really being pushed. I do think the EU and the UK are going to be ahead of the United States in all of this, and I do think the United States is going to have to act pretty soon if they want to stay relevant in this whole area. You know, they do have the FedNow payment system, which is great, but you are going to see stablecoin regulation in 2024 that is coming. I didn't really want to talk about this just yet. Let's talk about this new narrative, okay? So there's two narratives I want to talk to you about. All right, there is the ERC 404 narrative, and then there's the DN 404 narrative, okay? And we're going to talk about what is going on with this, okay? So ERC 404 launched basically at the beginning of February, all right? This just happened. And if you're buying stuff on Ethereum, you'll notice that the gas fees are astronomical, okay? Well, not what they used to be, but they are still very high, okay? Ethereum has experienced a significant increase in gas fees, which reached an 8-month peak. This is preliminary driven by excitement around ERC 404 standard, known as ERC 404. All right. Meanwhile, the price of Ethereum has been on the rise since January 2025 at a low of $21,600, and now we're almost at $2,600. This is an increase, right? But they're talking about high gas fees here because of this new standard. ERC 404 standards, it integrates ERC 721, which is NFTs, and ERC 20 tokens to enable fractional ownership of NFTs. So this is a very new and exciting standard. There are going to be many scams, but there is opportunity here, and so we should talk about it, okay? Allowing multiple owners to trade and stake parts of an NFT. So there's going to be a lot of use cases built out around this, which is going to be pretty exciting. And I'm going to share a ton of information with you right now, so get ready for it. Hi from the UK. What did I miss? What's up, Colin? We're talking about ERC 404 and DN 404, which are two new standards, and we're going through why Ethereum gas fees are so high right now because of this new standard. So even though the development team behind ERC 404 is working on a solution to reduce gas fees and consumption, it has already received considerable pushback from the Ethereum community. In response, in the surge in Ethereum transaction fees following the popularity of ERC 404 tokens, a team of developers, including one known as Cigar, is finalizing an alternative called divisible NFTs, or DN 404. Okay, DN 404 projects are launching right now. I'm going to show you how to find DN 404 projects. I'm going to show you a ton of information that I've been researching over the past few days. I have not left my computer in several days because I really wanted to dig into all of this information for you and really help you understand what is going on here. This new standard aims to offer a more efficient coding solution to reduce gas costs. It aims to address increased fees. Instead these costs rose to a 7-day moving average of around $11 from $4. So gas almost jumped 2/3 of the amount, right? So gas fees on Ethereum right now are not fun. However, there is a noticeable divide between the ERC 404 proponents and the DN 404 developers. So these guys can't get along. With unsuccessful attempts at collaboration, this rift suggests the investors and traders interested in these divisible NFTs face a choice in their technology potential and their success. They would also have to decide which version to support amid the backdrop of rising Ethereum fees. So the first project that was launched on ERC 404 was Pandora. Okay, and Pandora launched, I believe, on the 2nd of February. And this is the chart. Okay, these things launched at about $250, and this thing went insane. This thing went up 5,486%. And right now it's still sitting at 3,848%. So if you would have bought in, you would have made a killing on this project, okay? There's also EGGX or EGX or ERC 404. EGX is the first hybrid token NFT project on Ethereum mainnet, the first GameFi ecosystem, also the first ERC 404 with a trading volume over 100 million. So I don't know if Pandora got there first or these guys got there first, but each one of these projects is different. So you have to understand that if you want to buy an NFT on one of these projects, you have to buy a certain amount of tokens. With EGX or EGGX, you have to actually buy 10,000 tokens, and it's equal to one NFT. I will show you this really quickly. OpenSea. When you buy the tokens, right off the bat, it gets minted into your wallet. And when you sell the tokens, it leaves your wallet. So here is the EGX token. I bought 20,000 tokens just to test this out and see how it's going. And here are the two NFTs. Okay. It's a very unique standard, which I do think is going to catch on as more and more people find it. And I think it will become more and more popular. But let's get back into these, excuse me. I think it's this one. Let me get back and showing you these ERC 404 projects. Okay. So there was also this project Bake. And I thought, I looked at literally all the ERC 404 projects that had been launched, and I was looking for actual use cases. Some projects are just NFTs, right? So a collection, this is DFrogs, a collection of 10,000 DFrogs enabled by ERC 404 experiment and experimental token standard on Ethereum. So some of these are just still, picture NFTs. You can see that this one launched at about 1,500, or at least this is when there's captured information on it. And this went up to about $4 grand. And then now it's come back down. It's actually been on a downtrend since, right? So I haven't really messed with any of these ones like DFrogs. There's also this one, Monarch, which is Dragons on Chain, first gamified iteration of ERC 404. If you level up dragons, you can take a look at their website here. It's not, this is really kind of like degen stuff in crypto. Okay. Just understand that these are not, like 99% of these projects are just like investing in meme tokens that go nowhere. So just understand that you do not want to be using a big portion of your total value in crypto to invest in these projects. I would say pick a very small percentage of what you want to invest in the crypto asset space. And if you feel like gambling, this is an area that you might want to gamble in. Okay, that's all I'm trying to point out here. So you hatch these eggs, you get a dragon, and then you level up your dragon. So kind of like the meme, right? And so here are some of these dragons. Some of this stuff is actually pretty expensive, or at least what these people are trying to buy. If you notice, the prices on here have dropped significantly since I just refreshed my page. Yesterday, these were trading at 0.5, 0.6 Ethereum. Now they're down to 0.3. So as you can see, some of these things are already losing value. All right. Obviously, the more rarity stuff is people are asking more money. As you can see, the last sale was 1 Ethereum. This person is now trying to get 5 Ethereum. So some of this stuff will be successful and most of it won't. This one is a staking protocol that went nowhere. If you take a look at the chart, it went nowhere, right? You have this initial run up and then you have nothing. So what my recommendation is, as not your financial advisor, is if you're going to get in and trade one of these things, take your profit very early, right? This is within a few hours of it launching, right? This thing went up to $5 grand and now it's back to $170, right? So your opportunity is in the initial launch, right? You see that? The opportunity is in the initial launch. Now, if you got in at, $100 here and this thing went to five grand, right? You are talking about a very nice 50x. There is opportunity here, but you have to act quickly when you do find these projects. Okay. There's also rugged art, which I don't find super cool. These are just NFTs. This project was abandoned by its developers a long time ago, January 22nd, 4 months after mint. The developers abandoned it and they're trying to revive it through this. Here's the prices yesterday. Let me refresh this, see if it changed. Still kind of holding this floor of 0.17 Ethereum. I just don't find value in this type of stuff. There was also this project, Ether Rock. This one was insane. If you look at the chart on this, it went insane. Look at this. This thing launched at, what is this? Maybe a few $100s. This thing went up to $70,000. But notice a pattern here, guys. The initial run up is where you should take your profit, right? Just like any other meme coin that you invest in, these are all playing out the same. All right. Now you can buy a rock NFT for $6 grand if you want to do that. I don't recommend doing something like this, but like I'm saying, if you can find something early enough, take that profit, you can make a considerable 10, 12x very quickly. All right. There's a few other projects I just wanted to bring forward and show you. Anon, a hybrid token NFT project on Ethereum mainnet. There's not really a lot of information surrounding this one, but this white paper is kind of eerie looking in the green. They're talking about this ERC 404 standard. Like I said, not something that I would invest in. I'm really kind of focused on this DN 404 narrative right now, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But as you can see, you get that initial run up. This is just a whole nother project, right? This one is made sweepers, right? Made sweepers. This thing went up to, $500, crashed back down. Okay. So I hope you're seeing a pattern here. This project actually looks interesting. Scaling the GDP of the digital frontier with liquid credit tokens, or LCT, and yield staking. So this project is yet to launch. I am following it. So I think these guys either are looking to, I know these guys are switching from ERC 404 to DN 404. So there's a few projects here that actually haven't launched. And we'll talk about them in Cryptonairz, Ultra Bull, and things like that. But how you find some of these projects, guys, is like this. You ERC-404, hit enter. And then if you click on people, this will bring up projects. See all these projects? Basically, some of these projects I just went over, but this is how you can find new ERC 404 projects that are just launching. If you kind of Google, or excuse me, look on Twitter or X, just search ERC-404 and go under people, and you can see a whole list of different things that are launching that you can take a look at. All right. Now let's talk about the DN 404 narrative, okay? Because this is what I think could be pretty big, and this just launched like yesterday. Okay, this is brand new. Not a lot of people are talking about this yet. Okay, DN 404 contract is finally out. Under normal circumstances, you'd be treated to a technical deep dive courtesy of Cigar. So this is the person that created this new standard. And then, however, this person says, however, they are deep asleep recovering from their coding wizardry. So I'm stepping in. So first brief recap on timeline. Pandora unveils a revolutionary ERC 404 standard, capabilities of ERC 20 and ERC 721. So you're basically combining both worlds to create a new use case for crypto and NFTs. All right. So fast forward 48 hours, the DN contract is now live, and this is 4 hours ago, right? So this just happened. It features two interconnected contracts, DN 404 and DN 404 mirror, each initialized 1-to-1 in correspondence. The DN 404 narrative represents the NFT side. The DN 404 focuses on the ERC 20 aspect, housing the bulk of the logic. NFT interactions are exclusively handled through the DN 404 mirror. The mirror contract calls its DN 404 counterparty, where the NFT logic are defined and the NFT data is stored. DN 404's mirror's design adheres to ERC 721 standard, guaranteeing compatibility with existing marketplaces. So this could be really, really big. The real magic unfolds with DN 404 and ERC 20 actions. Here, NFTs are minted or burned in response to ERC 20 token transactions. So as you're buying and selling the token, the NFT in your wallet is either created or it's burned. Okay, does that make sense? The conversion rate is this. I'm not going to go over that. Let's talk about the transfers. Should a user balance dip below the 10***18 mark, the most recent NFT is burned. Conversely, crossing above the threshold bursts a new NFT, kind of what I just explained, and here's the code that kind of gets into this. At the heart of DN 404's design, it's this ingenious tracking of wallet NFT token holds through a 00 or 00 variable. This mapping records per NFT, and then this is kind of how that is set up in the code. The owned variable, this is crucial, mapping per wallet, tracks NFT token holds by the acquisition index position. This is really kind of complicated. This design is pivotal for the DN 404 after burning NFTs during transfers. And after transfer happens in LIFO, last in, first out. The DN 404 or DN 404 mirror not only ensures seamless compatibility with the ERC 20 and ERC 721 standards on platforms like Blur and Uniswap, but it also innovates by linking the two to create a native NFT fractionalization. All right. And, you know, I will share this with you in Cryptonairz Discord. Please take a look at that. I know there's going to be some, is this meme or a project token? This is, right now, Leo, this is pretty much all meme. I would consider all projects launched in this area meme projects. Be very careful, okay? But we're going to talk about a bunch of projects here, okay? Let me get some water. Hold on. All right. Okay, so since this just launched, literally, today and yesterday, some of these projects have not launched, and some of these projects have launched. Okay, the most popular or the highest ranked by this person is AstraBit Labs, which is this project here, which we're going to take a look at here in just a second. And then you have this D's Nuts. I mean, I just the names are just crazy. Then you have this Miner CRX. You also have Fed 404, which is the project I just bought at the beginning. Like I said, it could be worth nothing by the time we get done with this chat. There's 404 blocks, and so these are just projects in rank. I will share this with you in the Cryptonairz Discord. But guys, I do think there's going to be some of these projects are going to explode as more people find this narrative. Remember, this is only a day or two old, so a lot of people are not going to know what's going on right now. So let me just go through these really quickly. So there's this project called Chatties, right? You know, you can get the official contract here. There's the DEX tools. We can pull this up and see where this token is currently trading. This thing was, so I was testing this out this morning. I bought in at about $7. Now this is sitting at $10. So I put $500 into this thing right here. I'm almost up. Man, this thing peaked at like 13 and then came back down a bit. So if you want to buy this token, so these are the type of NFTs that you would get. Let me pull this back up. I'll open my OpenSea back up in a second, but you have to buy a certain amount. This is at $153,000 market cap, guys. Understand how early some of this stuff is. Like I said, this is very high risk stuff, but I do think there's some opportunity here to make some money. So that's why I'm being your test dummy here. Okay, so I'm gonna share some of these projects. Actually, I shared the link, right? I shared this in the chat. Yeah, you guys got it. Okay, perfect. So I don't need to share individual projects. So you guys have it. There's also this one. I didn't know how to feel about this one. This is the a meme token on DN404. Let me just pull up this deck screener real quick to show you where this token is. Some of this stuff is just like this is an example. This is not something I'm investing in, right? You can obviously see that bots took a hold of this and are manipulating the price, and this is like nothing now. This is not worth anything, right? So prime example, you know, some of this stuff is going to quickly go to nothing. So you have to be very careful about what you're thinking of doing here, right? And how you find projects, DN404. This is how I found a lot of these projects. I went into that. I went into people, and here is a list of DN projects that are either launched or are about to launch. Okay, this one, Shape, a collection of 10,000 shapes enabled by DN404 Standard. This is going to launch in a few hours. Okay, most of these you have to go in Telegram to find out any information on them. Launch will be at 000 UTC, which I think is soon. I think is that at noon? Might be at noon. So you know, I might take a gamble and buy this one too. We'll have to see. I might throw 500. Pick your project carefully. All right, so this is AstraBit. As you can see, there is no information on this project, but a contract address, right? So some of this stuff, like I said, is a shot in the dark. Most of this stuff is a shot in the dark, okay? But let me show you this. This is this is the current price of this token, right? This is up. This originally launched here. What was this, yesterday? Down here at $55, and this went to $1,300. Okay, so like I said, some of these projects you're going to be able to 10x pretty quickly, but I recommend taking that profit on the initial run up, and you know, if you want to leave a little bit in, you can do that. But buying one NFT on this project is $1,373 right now. So you want to get this stuff early. I would say if you've missed the initial run up find a different project. But we'll have to see how this one, I know these guys are trying to be the Pandora of DN404. We'll have to see how this plays out. This project seems interesting. Okay, so this one's called Miner. Miner is powered by ERC-X, a collection of 100,000 counterparts and avatars enabled by ERC-X, an experimental token standard. And if you actually go down here, Miner is a collaboration, avatars built on ERC-X, a fully optimized experimental standard that enables the use of multiple standards, ERC-20, ERC-404, ERC-721, ERC-721A, and you have the same thing, PSI, ERC-1155, and ERC-1155 Delta. ERC-X is a gas efficient that scales to nearly any project size with adjustable tokens per NFT amount. This also reintroduces all of the standard features from ERC-20, such as anti-snipe and smooth launches. And so here you can see, here you can see basically what this standard does compared to, here's ERC-20, here's ERC-404, and here's this new ERC-X standard, okay? So this is very, very, very new, very, very new. Okay. But you can see kind of the X's are what it doesn't have, right? And then of course, ERC 404 improved on that. And then ERC-X is supposed to improve on everything, right? Which is pretty interesting, I thought. And then here's your average cost per 100 NFTs. And then ERC-X, very cheap, right? This is kind of like, I don't want to say, well, it's not quite Solana levels of launching an NFT project, but, you know, it's cheaper on Ethereum, like as far as Ethereum goes, right? So the next generation of tokens is here. Let me just show you what this is trading at. Can I copy and paste this? I think I can copy and paste this. Hold on, let's go to Dex Screener. Nope, they're not going to allow me to do that. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to do this a different way. Maybe I can copy this. There we go. Okay, so here's Miner. $8.1 million market cap. As you can see, it had a nice little run up here. Pretty much launched at nothing, right? 70 cents. And this thing's at $81 right now, right? So as you can see, 8,500% in this project, right? In the last 2 or 3 days. So there is major opportunity. Like, you know, if you're farming meme coins or you're trying to get meme coins, great. But you should focus your view on DN404 because I think this standard is going to be revolutionary in the crypto space. Okay, there's a few other things I wanted to get into on this really quickly. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is in Telegram. Here is that old Fed project that went up, right? Launched at pretty much, you know, $100 something, went up to 1,100, and then they had to relaunch the project. They did an airdrop for this, but they just relaunched it. That was the project that I bought at the beginning of this. We'll have to see if it went to nothing over the time that I've been talking. But some of these projects I think are going to do well. Let's take a look and see if I lost my money really quickly. Some of this is fun though. Some of this is not fun. Some of this is fun. As you can see, 87K market cap. This thing's still holding at $248. So I haven't quite lost my money. Actually, this is kind of building up here. So I'm dead even from where I bought. Okay, I bought 2 tokens for about $500, and I'm about even. So I haven't lost anything just yet, but it looks like there's some people buying this now. So if you want to buy 1 token, which is 1 NFT, it's going to cost you $250. This is a $90,000 market cap right now. Okay, so definitely opportunity in some of this stuff and definitely scams on a lot of this stuff. So you have to be very careful of what you decide to get into. But anyways, what do you guys think about this new standard? Is this helping you understand kind of what's going on with this new ERC 404 and DN 404 standards? Because that was my main goal here, to kind of show you what's happening behind the scenes with these projects and kind of give you some valuable information of what's happening right now in as far as creating a new use case for NFTs, because the picture NFTs side of stuff is kind of dead, but fractionalizing NFTs I think is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry inside of crypto, and these projects are all interesting and new. So let's talk a little bit about the rest of the crypto market. We'll get back to some regular news here, okay? I know there's going to be lots of questions, and I will answer them in Ultra Bull, and I'll try to answer some in general chat as you have them. But I thought this was interesting. The Digital Asset Investor put this out. Kenneth Rogoff and is Mauritius C. professor of Harvard University, former chief economist at the IMF. Bitcoin is eventually going to get banned or regulated into oblivion, right? This is something that I believe, was it either like Chris Larson or Brad Garlinghouse or somebody like that stature said as well. The guns and the tanks will come out before they allow it to happen. We'll have to see. But let me play this clip. I thought that this clip was interesting.
So it gets back to the U.S. question that you asked.
It does,
I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be a home regulator.
Yes.
A stateless currency eventually is going to get banned in big places like the United States and China because they have lots of reasons they don't want to allow something that's not regulated. And you could say, well, why don't we have the BIS regulator, some international agency? And the United States doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of a tension, at the end of the day. I mean, there's always this idea, if you go back to my book at the history of currency, private sector is actually always inventing clever stuff.
Yeah.
And the government's always slow to catch up, but it does. Mm-hmm. And I think that's eventually going to happen here, that we aren't going to have a stateless currency that's significant in the legal economy. Mm-hmm. Now, a qualifier is the world underground economy is huge, maybe 20% of global GDP, at least. Those are my estimates. Mm-hmm. And you don't control that as much. Right. And so there is always going to be a market for Bitcoin and things which are stateless currencies there. And I'm not saying that's not valid. I'm not, but we have to, look at that separately. That market's not going away. And even if, the United States tries to regulate it into oblivion, it's still going to thrive in some areas that are significant.
Jeremy Allaire, right? CEO of Circle. Right there, talking with the guy, and you're seeing this big narrative coming out on mainstream news finally about crypto and Bitcoin. You're seeing it more and more, especially on Fox. And I just wanted to play this so you can kind of see what's kind of happening around the crypto industry in mainstream news in the U.S. And I know Fox is played kind of all over the world, but let me play this.
All right, folks, so Bitcoin actually hit 50,000 today, but my next guest says Bitcoin ETFs are sounding an alarm. I'm going to bring in Pomp Investments investor Anthony Pompliano. And Pomp, you say, that these Bitcoin ETFs, they're sounding the alarm. At first, it felt like everyone, including yourself, were really enthused about it. Did they not go off right? What's the hitch?
The alarm's good for Bitcoiners. If you think about what's happening right here, Wall Street's getting an intelligence test. If you paid attention in Economics 101, you're going to pass this test. There is hundreds of millions of dollars per day flowing into these Bitcoin ETFs, and there's only about $40 to $45 million of net new Bitcoin being produced. So there's 12 and a half times more demand than there is supply being created every single day. If there's that much demand and that little supply, the price has got to go up to accommodate everyone. And so my guess is that we're about to see Bitcoin continue to grind up over the next couple of weeks.
So that's the structural buildup for this next big move.
Correct.
So what's holding them back then?
Well, the Bitcoin's not being held back, right? I mean, It was at 47 and went down to 40,000 because everyone was dumping GBTC. Now, all of a sudden, we're back to 50,000. I think 50,000 is a psychological level as well. People get really excited. They say, hey, we're going back towards all-time highs. And as soon as Bitcoiners start saying it, somehow it usually happens.
It does, right? Now, you say you've got the next big bet. Share that with us.
Yeah, so if you look at what happened with the Bitcoin ETF, right? Bitcoin is an asset. It's now been accepted within Wall Street, and now people want to get access. And so we have these Bitcoin ETF issuers. I think that the next big run of equities is going to end up being in altcoin ETFs. And what I mean by that is forget which coin or which protocol, but the altcoin ETF issuers, I think, are going to have a great run over the next 2 years. I've made 3 bets here. I invested in Bitwise. I invested in a company called 21 Shares. And then the only publicly traded company is something called DeFi Technologies. And all 3 of these, they basically want to give people exposure to assets. They don't care which one you pick. They just want to make sure that it's easier for you to put money into this ecosystem in this industry. And I think all 3 will do well.
So a big thing with the ETF, the spot ETFs was general acceptance, not just Wall Street, but Wall Street kind of giving it the veneer of acceptance. So you're watching the Super Bowl, you couldn't help but see Jack Dorsey in there with Beyonce and Jay-Z with the Satori shirt on. Then I don't know what this was about, but I saw President Biden now, he's got the laser eyes. I don't know if that has anything to do with Bitcoin, but the bottom line though is
the laser eyes on for the Biden post. I think a lot of people are not understanding that. That was a shot at Republicans because of the conspiracy about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce winning the Super Bowl and then backing Democrats, and that was a meme towards that. I think a lot of people miss that.
Generally, do you think that it's starting to reheat because there was this massive sort of, hey, everyone was talking about it, then it kind of fell apart. And when that happens, a lot of folks who are not necessarily intelligent, into these things, they walk away and never come back. It feels like they're coming back.
The beauty of Bitcoin is that it's a decentralized organization. There is no CEO, there's no board of directors, and there is no marketing team, but price is the marketing campaign. And as the price goes up, more people talk about it. We're talking about it here today. More investors start to pay attention. They put capital in. It has this positive, reflexive kind of mechanism, which will drive the price higher and higher, which gets more people talking about it. And that's what leads to the outperformance.
So what's the all-time high?
The all-time high is $69,000. The most entertaining outcome of course, is exactly what's going to happen.
But you think we'll at least test that this year, maybe?
I think that we'll go to a new all-time high before the end of the year, especially if we continue to see hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into these ETFs every day.
Right.
6 figures is where you see Bitcoin. You'll see Bitcoin over 100K. All right. There's a few other things I wanted to touch on before we kind of ended here today. I wanted to talk about this interoperability. The new standard to enhance cross-border transactions, leveraging ISO data and AI. I think we need to be, this is why the AI narrative in crypto, you saw Sam Altman talking about, AI getting to, a multi-trillion-dollar industry. There are several cryptocurrencies that we've talked about for a long time in here in Cryptonairz that should do well just because of this AI narrative. Let me play this for you.
Payment systems, with a real focus of opening access to as many participants as possible to drive innovation and competition, but also interoperability. But continuing, which is very important in our mind, is safety and security, resilience, and also scalability, because we're seeing transaction volumes grow, and being able to keep up with that capability is very important. We will see that in enhancing our cross-border interoperability to make it seamless transactions to customers so they can see predictability will be a very big key one. Opening our systems, which I just briefly mentioned, around bringing in as many participants as we possibly can, reducing those barriers of entry, and then overlay services, really using the ISO 20022 data, and also looking at how we can use AI and the advancements of AI to help that. Navigating those priorities during 2024 will be critical.
All right, well, thank you very much for bringing us up to date. You've highlighted some significant developments there, and cross-border interoperability. I know that's one of your hot topics and one we've discussed in the past, EBA Day. Yes. So let's talk more on that then. What's changed since we last spoke to you about that?
So since EBA Day, we spoke a lot about the challenges, the legal frameworks, the technical standards, governance that needs to be across those, plus some of the technical capability that's required. We've seen bilateral agreements between Singapore and Malaysia come out to the industry, also with Hong Kong and Thailand. But the real focus with interoperability across cross-border payments will be really standardizing those legal frameworks, the capability that we bring to the market from a MasterCard perspective, because we operate in those spaces around the technical, operational procedures that you would need, but also giving the transparency and predictability of cross-border transactions. So to the customer on the street, it's seamless. We've aligned ourselves to the G20 roadmap, and we continue to focus on the MasterCard with the 13 markets that we operate in today. We think we can really help set those legal frameworks, move towards standardizing that cross-border capability and making the customer on the street have a seamless cross-border transaction. We're also looking at bringing in a capability and making the customer on the street have a seamless cross-border transaction. We're also looking at it from a directory perspective as well, the capability to allow directories to talk to each other that would not normally be able to speak to each other. That is a great capability that we're seeing lots of demand in the industry about, because that is a common problem to every customer on the street.
Sure, so you've highlighted the priorities there. I'm assuming they're just as important to tackle as each other. And what's your forecast there?
So, look, my forecast is interoperability will be the key. Standardizing how scheme operators and payment systems talk to each other will be the key opportunity in 2024. I also see that if we bring in the other two priorities that we were just talking about, you'll start to see that overlay services and the value-added services will become very key in driving down fraud and providing data to operators, customers to be able to stop illicit transactions, stop account takeovers. If we just talk about open access really quickly, one of the things is it's really costly and complex to be part of a real-time payment system. bringing down those barriers, opening up to participants, to a number of different types of participants, not just bank entities, gives more competition and it drives innovation. We're starved of innovation in the industry around what we can bring to the customer on the street, that it just streamlines those payments.
All right, thank you, Paul. And you've touched on...
All right. So you can
As
see
many
like
participants as we
they're working on
possibly can, making
streamlining payments, right? JP Morgan is at the key of this. HSBC, Orion, Citibank Token Service, UBS Tokenize. They're all working on the tokenization of assets, right? So here it is. Most blockchain companies can only do one of these. Overledger allows you interoperability and flexibility. But this is what all of these banks want to accomplish at the end of the day. Let's talk a little bit about airdrops, because I know there's a few people in the chat that only want to talk about airdrops. So I did pull some airdrop information here. We talk about airdrops a lot in the community. My goal when you join Cryptonairz is to earn you at least $1,000 a year in airdrops. Some of these airdrops are free to do. Some of them require you to actually stake value on a validator to do that. One of the big airdrops that we've been farming is Prism. I think that's going to be a major one. But here is 3 airdrops that have been confirmed: Layer 0, ZK Sync, and OPBNB. So we've talked about Layer 0 a lot. We've talked about ZK Sync a lot, but not really OPBNB. I don't really know too much about this one, so it's a new one. When they say profit here of 35,000 plus, guys, some of this is really overblown. So, don't think you're retiring from your job tomorrow by farming, 2 or 3 of these airdrops, because a lot of them are based on how many transactions that you're doing, how many unique contracts as far as, things that you're minting or staking or doing different things on the protocol to test it out. But here is an airdrop strategy. As you remember, ZK Stars, we've done this a lot for different airdrops. And then, this kind of goes through different strategies. And so I will share this in the Cryptonairz Discord. If you want to go ahead and take advantage of this and do that, we're going to do an airdrop chat probably later on. Maybe early next week. I got a full week. We have a few AMAs coming up. We have a chat on Friday, so I'll probably do an airdrop chat on Friday. An airdrop chat maybe Monday next week, where we're going to go over and how to do all of these different airdrops. But there's also NIBI raised $26 million from tier 1 VCs. 16 days left for the NIBI airdrop distribution. Some of this stuff, it might be too late, but some of this stuff there could be value in still farming this stuff, especially if it's free. Some of the stuff you have to follow, retweet, join their communities. Obviously, you need, wallets like you need MetaMask, Kepler are the 2 main ones to farm a lot of these airdrops. Some of this you have to connect to the faucet, get some test tokens, stake them, do some different transactions, and I will post this in the Cryptonairz Discord, and I'll post all this stuff in the Alpha Sensei channel after as well, so you guys can do this. And then, of course, a bear airdrop. We talked about this at length. Confirmed airdrop, Bear Chain allocated 1350 bear for each eligible wallet. So this could be worth maybe $1,000 once this kind of goes. It looks like you can claim this. This person, WimarX, put this out. So if you've been farming the bear airdrop, obviously verify all of this before you've done it. If you want to take a look at more airdrops, there's a few people I'd recommend that you follow, and we've talked about this a lot. This person, Danny Crimpton, puts out a lot of really good airdrop information. That's pretty much all this person does. There's a few other people that they repost. Alex Mason, this person does a really good job posting about airdrops. But you need to make sure that you verify some of this stuff before you jump in. Don't just see an airdrop guide and go, I was going to use a term there, but I didn't want to use that term. Just don't go, all in on some of this stuff, right? You want to have a different wallet that you're farming these airdrops on, especially if they're free airdrops that you're not using actually anything in your wallet. Make sure that it's a new seed phrase, just because some of this stuff that you're going to click on could be a scam. So just be very careful of who you're getting your information from, and you always want to research it yourself before you actually jump in and do it. Another person that's really good at airdrops, Miles Deuscher. This person has a great account, 447,000 followers. This person does a lot of posting about different projects and airdrops. I definitely follow Miles. He has a great YouTube channel that he puts out a lot of this stuff. I did want to talk about a few things also other than airdrops. When we're talking, somebody asked me the other day, which are some good crypto gaming projects. Let me just show you this really quickly. There's a few projects that we've talked about at length inside of Cryptonairz that I just want to go over with you. Okay, Immutable X, obviously, it's going to have still a pretty nice run. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw Immutable X in this bull run, over $10. It had a last high. It kind of launched right when this last market started. This had a high of about $8, $8.60, but they've built a lot of stuff. They have hundreds of games in their ecosystem. I do think you're going to see a $10 Immutable X. Obviously, Beam, like I said, we've been talking about Beam since it did go over from Merit Circle. We were buying Beam back here, at half a penny. This is up gigantically since we originally started talking about this in November inside of Cryptonairz. I hope that you got into Beam at these levels. If you didn't, there's definitely going to be less profit for you, but I do think Beam is one of the gold stars out here as far as their ecosystems, and they formerly were Merit Circle. Please pay attention to Beam. I do think there's a lot of life left. Ron, this is another project that we brought up in the Cryptonairz Discord, kind of in this area before this huge run up. This was, right around, I think this was about 50 cents before this gigantic run up. This has gone up 600% since it was originally posted inside of the community. I think that was QNT that posted that. Of course, Gala, it would be nice to see Gala. Gala has new tokenomics from the last bull market it had. Less tokens in circulation, which is great. Gala, as you can see, ran up here to 70 cents. It would shock me if Gala didn't get back to 20 or 30 cents in this next bull market. I was buying Gala nodes back here in like the 2020 area, in early 2021. I run 8 Gala nodes. Right now, they're about 100 grand each, so they are a little bit out of reach for a lot of people. I would not recommend buying a Gala node at this time for 100 grand. I think you could take that 100 grand and put it into other cryptocurrency projects and make a better return. Obviously, Illuvium, Illuvium was a really big mover in the last bull market. I'm not as hyped on it as it used to be. This thing went up to $1,700, sitting at $97. I do think they have a good ecosystem. It's just not something that I'm in, but I know that we've talked about it a lot. There's also Magic here. Zy Games, guys, we know we are all fans of Zy Games. We were just talking about the first game that launched on Zy Games. Let me just show you this really quickly. We bought into these NFTs. They were $25. I was posting about this nonstop over the last few days, especially in Ultra Bull and Alpha Sensei. I want to show you this really quickly. Here it is. Torochi was the first game by Prima Studios. Let me go ahead and just pull this up really quickly. Here is their Discord, Prima. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this is all minted out, but let's go ahead and just take a look really quickly and see if it's minted out. Introduction, general, announcements. This is where I want to be. I want to get to their website. Give me 1 second here. I wish they would just post their website so I can just get into it. General memes, matchmaking, lower defense. Hold on. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Man, they make it very difficult to find their website, don't they? Let me just see if I can find it. Prima. You know what? Let me go into the chat since it's making it difficult for me to find this. 1 second. Alpha Sensei. Let me see. Where is this? Prima. Oh, you know what? Did I post it in trades? Hold on. Ultra Bull. Prima. Hold on. Let me see if I can look. No. Torochi. There we go. Prima Studios. This is what I wanted. All right. So they had a 10,000 mint launch. Let's see if they're still. Is it still going? Let me see. Looks like it might still be going. You can. Oh, so it is sold out. Okay, it is sold out. So the first Genesis NFT is sold out. I actually made a video for my YouTube channel that was up, and I talked about this at length. This is going to be one of the first games on Zy. This is actually pretty interesting. This launched on February 8th, and February 9th was the public mint. I hope, if this is something that interests you, this really looks like Pokemon, kind of on the blockchain. They're going to have, fighting monster captures by buying a $25 NFT. You got the in-game currency. You also are going to be able to mint limited edition monsters, which I think you're going to be able to trade for value. And this looks really interesting. So, we talked about this a lot over the last week. And I think this is going to do pretty well. So going back to this, Zai Games, we got into these nodes. Well, realistically, they launched at $300. They were very hard to buy at $300. I think my first buy was at like $380 or $400. I had bought 28 nodes here. Nodes right now for Zai Games, I don't know if any of you guys have looked at this, but you guys are going to be happy from the people that were able to mint this for pretty cheap, because check this out. Right now, let me just look at how much Ethereum gas is so I can show you exactly how much this costs. Ethereum gas right now is Ethereum is $2,638. Okay? If you want to mint a Zai node right now, when this comes up, just give me a second. Last time I looked, 1.4 Ethereum. So nodes right now for Zai Games are like $3,600. This is insane. We've done a 10 to 12x on our initial investment into this. We got a free airdrop, which paid for our node, plus it paid for whatever else you wanted. So Zai Games, I do think, is going to be one of the biggest gainers here as far as ecosystems. It's only at a $286 million ecosystem. This is a layer 3 on Arbitrum. It had one of the biggest test nets in history. This was an easy decision to get into, and we are printing money right now with our Zai nodes. So I'm very excited about Zai. A few others. Heroes of Mavia, $8.36. I hope you guys got in with me on this, right? I talked about this. I told you the day before this was launching that this was coming, that I was buying this. I bought this under $3. This is up almost 200% in the last few days. Look at this. Look at this. But it launched at $2.50, and now it's at $8.41. Strong. This is really strong, guys. And this is from 2.6. This is over the last 7 days. You were up 200% on this one call. SHX, right? We talked about Stronghold. Look at Stronghold. It deleted a 0, guys. We were talking about Stronghold back last year, kind of in this area. I was reminding you about Stronghold over the last few chats, like right in this area, and we just did this. Okay. So I hope, I was reposting this at 22 million. I was reminding you guys about this. I know some of you did get into SHX at that time. Some of you did not. But this is up massively. Okay. This is just a God candle here. Okay. So, congratulations to the people that did get into these two plays over the last few weeks. You did very nice. Some other things that I think are going to do well in this bull market, of course, Big Time. This is actually a really cool game, $179 million market cap. This was originally posted when it launched back here in October in the Cryptonairz Discord. This went up to, 86 cents. It's now trading at about 41 cents. Big supply, but I do think there's still room for growth for Big Time. Also, there is Shrapnel. A lot of this stuff is just going to start flying, right? Of course, Myria nodes were posted. I can't remember which member brought up Myria nodes when they first launched, but I know Myria is doing some restructuring for nodes. I don't think they're selling too many at this point, so they're doing some restructuring. Maybe they'll be a little bit cheaper, but not something I would recommend getting into right now unless it does come down. I think these are last like $6,000 or $7,000, and the return is not ideal. Like, why would you buy a Myria node for $7,000 when you can buy maybe 2 Zai nodes for the same price? I think you'd make more money on Zai, but it's just my personal opinion. Shrapnel. Okay, when this thing launches officially, I do think you're going to see this market cap get to 500 million, maybe higher. I do think Shrapnel could do a 10x in this bull market. I know that this game is going to be kind of fully launched very soon. And when it does, I think there's going to be a lot of value to be made here too. So a lot of stuff in gaming, guys, that you should be paying attention to. Of course, like D-Race is your horse racing. You can buy the NFTs of that. We've been talking about that for quite some time. GHX, this was a project that went up. I think this was Lauren's or I Deflect that originally posted about this in the Cryptonairz community. This thing did, this thing went from, what is that, 0.03. So this thing's up about 80% in the last month. But I think since he originally posted about it, he posted about this last year, this thing is up 524%. So our team is very good at identifying early plays in crypto. I hope that you are taking advantage of that 7-day free trial in the description of the community. So there's just a lot of stuff that we talked about. Of course, playable games here. I know there's a lot of people posting and are crazy about playable games. My personal feelings is that they need to do a better job about making games that people actually play. When you're investing in just a game in the crypto industry, if the game is kind of shitty or it flops, you're never going to make value on something like that. But if you invest in an ecosystem that builds multiple games, there's multiple opportunities for a big home run. Okay, so playable games, hopefully they're able to deliver on their promises and they actually put out something. I think the last time I checked, Nexus has like 1,800 or 2,000 average players, which is not something that you want to see, especially when you've worked on a game for a year and a half to put out. So hopefully they'll make some updates to the game and it'll become more popular. Something like Nakamoto Games was posted, I believe, by William in the community. This was posted below like 30-40 cents. Excuse me. This is actually a gaming house, right? So I believe he was posting back here, in this 20 to 30 cent region. This is at $1.09 right now. Previous highs in the last bull market of $5.25. But they actually, if you take a look at their website here, they build a host of different games, right? So just something to keep on your mind. When they're building a bunch of different things, it's a lot easier to be successful than when you're just building one game, if that makes sense. Okay, so another great opportunity for people to get into. Star Atlas, I'm not as bullish on Star Atlas as a lot of people are. I know this kind of peaked in the last bull market. I know they've been making some changes to the game, but kind of flat. Let's see what else we got here. There's a few other, gaming ecosystems that are coming up. Games for a living, GFAL. I do think this will be pretty big in this next bull market. This thing is trading at about 3 cents right now at a $53 million market cap. I think there's a lot of room for growth here for this one, GFAL. Yeah. Of course, DeFi Kingdoms, a lot of people like Jewel. But as you can see, the gaming side of things is really kind of a lot of things are pumping, right? Heroes of Mavia is taking the cake. We've talked about GMEE in the Cryptonairz Discord as well. A lot of this stuff you knew about a long time ago. So I hope you guys are making money in the industry. Let's talk about AI cryptos, top AI cryptos real quick. All right. So ICP, obviously, we were talking about at $2-3. It peaked at about 14. It's come back down now. I do think there's a lot of room for ICP to grow. It had a high in the last bull market of like $400. I don't know if it gets quite to that area, but I do think, a $50 or $100 ICP is not going to be too unheard of, but you are talking about a huge jump in market cap. It's already $6 billion. Injective. Great opportunity. We were talking about this a long time ago. $2-3 is at 34 now. Render, of course. I've been making some more Render content. I think Render is really cool. They have some great partnerships. When you look about, what NVIDIA is doing, you look at, Apple's Vision Pro headset. I do think could be a lot of growth for Render. I've seen a lot of people post that it could go to $50 or $100. I don't see why not with this current narrative around AI. Shared GPU, I think Render is a great choice. Of course, Oasis Network, more things are being launched on the Oasis Network. We talked about Akash a long time ago. FET. FET is a great choice for AI. Ajax, of course. I know people are really bullish on these three projects, as far as, look at this, Ocean Protocol's up 20% just in the last 7 days. BitTensor Tau, what price were we talking about this at? Like $50 or $100? Obviously, if you've been in the Cryptonairz Discord for 12 months or 24 months, you had a chance to buy Tau when it was double digits. There's a few other AI narratives that are kind of forming, but I don't know a ton of this. Oh, Cubic. Let me. Is this? I don't think it's on this though. CoinGecko. We were talking about. Is it? It's Cubic. No. Is it Cubic? Hold on. Where is the tweet? Hold on 1 second, my friends. Give me a second. Ah, man, where is it? All right, so hold on. So Rayon wanted me to share a few things with you. Of course, Gamercoin GHX, which we talked about it already. Also, he likes Cryptonairz. He just shared with me like 10 minutes before I came on. He's long-term bullish on this. If you don't know who Rayon is, he's one of our top researchers in the Cryptonairz Discord. So definitely want to research Cryptonairz. I'll do some due diligence over the next few days, and in Friday's chat, we'll talk about it a little bit more. There's also Gamer Hash. 760,000 plus gamers share their GPU power and create a decentralized computing network. The Gamercoin, powered by Gamercoin GHX, supports generative AI 3D art rendering. This could be something that you should want to pay attention to. I will post this in the chat. I bought Tau at 85, sold at 99. Yeah, you did sell too early, bro. And then here's Cryptonairz too. So definitely want to take some time out of your day and research these two projects, guys. What is that? What is that? Is it Cubic? What is that project? Hold on. Let me. Well, I'm streaming. Thank you. I was doing the wrong thing. Thank you. Cubic. And I know Rayon was talking about this a lot over the last few months. So in the last month, this thing is up dramatically, right? We've had this huge move just from February 7th to now. This really doesn't update on when you change. Is this on Coin Market? I really don't like using, what's it called? Let me just see here. Yes. Thank you. All right, so for the year, it's up almost 80%, right? And we were posting about this several months ago. I got into it when Rayon kind of posted about it, so I'm up about 80% on my position. I do think this is going to keep climbing. This is extremely technical, and I will not begin to tell you that I have gone through this entire white paper and understood everything that this does. So just know that it is a very interesting project. The first ever useful proof of work L1 blockchain. They've redone this website. It looks really nice, actually. It looks really nice. So you know, that's something to keep on your radars if you're in the AI cryptos. Is there anything else the community wants to look at together? Anything you guys want to share? Any projects? We've been talking for about an hour and almost 10 minutes here. Just want to not try to go too long, but anything else that anybody has they want to share before we end here today? All right, guys. So if you just joined, let me just go back through this with you. If you just joined the chat, we went through the two hot new narratives in crypto right now. One of them is ERC 404. I took you through a bunch of different projects in the ERC 404 area. I also took you through DN 404, which just launched 2 days ago. This is brand new. Okay. If you haven't heard of these two projects, go back into the chat, or these two new narratives that are forming in crypto. Go back and watch the start of this chat. We went through about 20 projects, 25 projects in both ecosystems. I do think that you are going to see billions of dollars flow into this new ecosystem, and I think there's opportunity here. You should consider this as very high risk degen type of stuff until all of this technology is worked out. Like I said, it's very new. It could fail. It's crypto. We follow narratives and we go to where the money is going to flow. It's hot. It's AI, it's crypto gaming, and this new ERC 404/DN 404 narratives, I think, are going to be insanely big. I see others talking about these two. Yeah, GGG. Go back to the beginning of this chat. What's up, JR from Texas? Good to see you. Hi again, Grand Fool. Nice to see you. we are streaming live here in the Cryptonairz Discord and on YouTube, so we are trying to grow the expansion and reach. If you guys are interested in joining the community because you want all of this valuable information as it comes, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial. We would love to have you as a member. You know, we have several hundred members that are all researching together, all sharing ideas, all finding projects, and so when you have hundreds of people working on something together, you can do a lot more than just doing it yourself. ASTX cleared 1,000 per during this chat. ASTX. What is ASTX, JP? Oh, okay. I'm up. Wait, is this? No, I think you're looking at two different things. This is a different one. I would love for this to be the one that I invested in. I think this is the, what's it called? I think this thing's running, man. Is this a DN404 project? Yeah. Man, insane. I mean, some of these projects are running so hard. Look at this thing. This thing launched at $60 at $1,600 right now. Is this the real one or is this a scam one? JP. Dropped a few hours ago, the real one? Okay, nice. Sell, yeah. Anyways, guys, a lot of stuff happening in the space. So, you know, I mean, this is insane. It launched 10:30 or 10 o'clock and went from $18 to $1,600. That is why I'm trying to point you at this narrative. That's why I'm trying to point you at this narrative, okay? All right, guys, I'll wrap it up there. I'll see you on Friday with a whole new chat. We'll have some of these projects to look at, but I'm going to be sharing these projects as I find them. If you find something cool that's launching, please share it in the community. But just know it's going to be, share it in the degen high risk area for now until all of this kind of gets settled, right? So thank you so much for participating and being here. I really appreciate you guys. Aloha. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you later. Bye.